I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
From Battle Creek, Michigan, weighing 230 pounds,
Rob Van Dam. Boom.
Yeah, nailed it. We back, baby. We back. Hey, it's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm with, guess who? He already said it. It's Rob Van Dam. Rob, welcome back to the United States. You were overseas, my friend.
Yeah, it was a good trip. It was a really good tour. I went to, I was in Manchester and for several days saw everybody in the wrestling business, it seems like, and then I split off and went to Newcastle and then went to Scotland. What the hell's the town in Scotland? My brain's a little bit tight. No, the fucking it's like the big town that's like close to Loch Ness. They sell the Loch Ness Monster stuff there, but Lake Loch Ness is actually I guess like an hour away. I don't know. If you can name one town in Scotland, it's that one. That's where I was.
Let's see. Glasgow?
I was in Glasgow. Yeah. And then went from there to Australia, and I was there for just under a week. So it was a long tour, very productive. Man, Dom, you'd be surprised at how many people everywhere tell me how much they love the podcast. And really? Yeah, specifically, a lot of people tell me that RVDology is their favorite, and that it has and continues to help them with their lives. You know, so if anybody ever wonders why we do it, you know, that's the answer right there.
Rob, too, when you're not on here and like I have guests on here or anything like that,
how to go with Katie.
Katie was awesome. She was so fun. We covered we talked about you guys falling in love again, that story, because it's such a cool story. And then we talked about different lady wrestlers and stuff like that. Her being in the business too, and like I was like, how do you feel? Like, because she was like, I was worried Rob was like a slut, like a whore starting off. That was her one concern, and she was like, but he wasn't. And you know, and then I asked her about like, was that a kind of something you were warned about getting into the business? Was that about guys being like that and stuff like that? And so to get her perspective on that all was really, really cool. You know, so she was great. She was a lot of fun. And then we had Danny Doring tag in for you that last week, and he loved the song. He's like, dude, that song's a banger. And I was like, right? I was like, Rob doesn't like music, but he likes that song. And so it was good. We covered some great ground. I'll probably recap a couple of his topics and ask you about them too, because I thought they were pretty fascinating. He talked about Taz throwing like a trainee through a wall and stuff like that when he was working with them. And so Danny was great. And so, but it's good to have you back, man. And yeah, like I said, though, anytime you're not here or like somebody I get interviewed and asked about you, I'm like, I learned so much from Rob and how to keep things in perspective and in a different perspective at the same time. Like, you know, breaking out of my conventional way of thinking that I grew up and was like, you know, accustomed to thinking, and then trying to think about it in a different manner, and then taking a step back. And it's like, dude, RVDology is great. It really is.
It's like you're reprogramming yourself as an adult.
Absolutely. Right. And so many people don't do that. And then they call them basic thinkers, and then they get upset.
Yeah. Can't be around those people for too long. The conversation will get too annoying.
That's it, man. 100% it. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat here. We got Maddie. He's back in the house. Maddie's in the house. We got Triple E here. He's a regular. Frankie Torizo always asks the good questions. We got James Edwards in here. We have Trudy Must Go. Manu Fasto. So okay. If you guys have questions, use the super chat. That kind of pops it up on my thing and helps me see them. I try to keep my eyes peeled for good questions, though, in the regular chat here. But if you definitely want your question asked, use the super chat. That helps out and helps everything else. Speaking of helping out, if you guys do have a chance, go to the GoFundMe for Abdullah the Butcher. So far, Chad Driggers helped raise about $600 through the GoFundMe to help out Abdullah the Butcher, who's still in the hospital.
Is he still in the hospital?
Still in the hospital. He's in an Atlanta, Georgia hospital. and he suffered 2 strokes over the last year in 2020, late 2025. And so, what was that?
You froze, so you came back with 2 strokes.
Yeah, so he had 2 strokes, and he's in the hospital. So if you guys can support him and stuff like that, I'll try to post the link for him actually again. But be sure to look him up and support Abdullah the Butcher right now. Yeah, Rob has a great history with that Abby the Butcher, so be sure to help support him and stuff. Let's see.
Been around my whole career since my very first match, very first show.
Wow, how about that? Yep. Yeah, and it was Greg Valentine was your very first match. Was that right?
My favorite first match? Is that what you said?
No, was Greg Valentine your first match?
No, I wrestled against Dango in a Vietnamese kickboxing match or some shit like that. For the first few, we broke in that way, like really under control. With a run in as soon as we started making it look, not good, because we were green and we were really protected in that way, because back then it was all about protecting the business. Nowadays, if you could send run-ins to stop what was going on in the ring, you send them in probably 4 times a match.
Yeah.
Run in, go in there, stop them. Pull apart, send everybody, empty the dressing room out, big pull apart. Well, that's what it was. Me and Dango would be kickboxing. We had our gloves and foot pads, and I don't know if we had headgear, but anyway, we would do whatever. End up, one of us would lose. He would lose his temper and throw his gloves off, and we'd end up rolling around on the ground. Cat fight. And then Sabu and whoever would come out from the dressing room and be a pull apart. And that was my first, at least probably 3 matches. But that first one was in Toledo, Ohio in 1990. And Abdullah the Butcher was there. So was Ken Patera.
Oh, that's right. Ken Patera was there too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, man, I didn't know that was your first match with Dango. I thought it was. I always, for some reason, put in my head Greg the Hammer Valentine was your first match.
Mm. Yeah, Greg wrestled him in 93, maybe 92 as well. Probably, and maybe up to like 95. Seems like quite a bit. Him and Manny Fernandez were alternating heels that would get booked by the wonderful Georgia All-Star Wrestling or South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. Sometimes Pistol Pez Watley, but yeah, sometimes even Bad Business Bobby.
Oh,
actually, that was all around the same time when Greg Price, who was the matchmaker, would be bringing in these guys to work that main event heel spot. And before that, when I was greener and like right before that, I remember I would see Wahoo and Manny wrestle a lot. That was like 91, 92, watching Wahoo and Manny. They main evented a lot of the shows around the Carolinas and in the area. And then, I built my way up to WrestleMania as well, or Greg Valentine. Yeah.
Did you ever get in the ring with Wahoo?
Not unless it was a battle royal.
Okay. Boy, that's crazy. I would have, just in my head, I just always assumed Wahoo was done wrestling at that point in time.
Yeah, I should recommend all the advice that I haven't taken that sticks out in my mind. But Wahoo one time before the show had the best advice that I never followed.
Really?
And there's a lot of that, like I said, I'm gonna put together a list, but when I remember him saying, I was probably like, damn, I forgot my wrist tape or, something like that. Shit. Because you got to bring whatever in your bag from home, and then you got to open it, and that's all you got is what you brought. You know, like
Sure.
you might be lucky and be able to borrow something from another wrestler, but that depends on how unspecific it is to your character, you know, and things like that, you know, and if they would even have it. But anyway, Wahoo told me one time that what he did was that he had a list of everything that he needs, and he said do that and keep it right here in your bag. Just slide it in that plastic thing right there, and every time you leave home, you'll know because it has everything on it. You need a hairspray, brush, everything on there. And I was like, wow, that is a good foolproof plan. I'm gonna do that, but I didn't do it.
You did.
And I forgot my wrist tape many times over the years.
Oh,
said,
man.
Yeah, man, I should have listened to Wahoo.
I need to make a list for Wahoo. Oh, man. I would be doing the same thing, Rob, though. Like, people tell me, oh, yeah, you should do this. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm going to try it out. And then I never fucking do it.
I guess if at least you remember, then it had some effect on you.
Yeah, right? It's like the intention is there to do it. At least it's not in your head to kind of think about it. Shout out to Chad Driggers who is helping out with Abdul. Like I said, he donated $2. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it, man. Shout out to Chad. He's a good dude. So, Frankie Terrizzo always asks good questions. Question number 1: what are your thoughts on badly overweight and or one-legged wrestlers? Ooh, okay, let's start with that. Badly overweight or one-legged what?
That sounds kind of random, right? I mean, why put them in the same group?
There's definitely a different thing to tell with each of those.
That's like, how do you feel about horses and elevators?
Well, what do you think about badly overweight wrestlers?
My thought usually if they're in the ring moving is, man, that's got to be a lot of work on their heart. And then if there's somebody that is around for a while, they start really impressing me. And I'm like, man, I don't, I believe in real life over science. I believe in my firsthand experience, and sometimes I believe other people's experiences. But the book facts are not always what matches, and who's the guy he was in TNA, young guy that was really big, and he'd run his shoulder block the guy, and the guy would go out into the crowd.
Was it Ace Romero?
It was Ace Romero. Thank you. Super nice kid too. And he was, I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if he might still be working. I just might not be watching wherever he is, but I used to see him. We were on the same shows together a lot or whatever. And man, not only was he talented, he would use his size to an advantage in a creative and smart way. And man, I was a big fan of his. And at the same time, I was like, man, I hope that dude don't have a heart attack. But there was no reason to believe that he would, just from watching him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he was extremely athletic for his size, and what he was capable of doing. And I don't think he wrestles anymore. I have not seen him on the scene in a couple of years for sure. He might be done, but I mean, when he was there, like in TNA, he was a presence. That's for sure. I thought
he had some good moments. That's for sure.
Absolutely. What do you think about one-legged wrestlers being utilized?
Well, I mean, I think that they are extra special in the way that they have to work extra hard because they have a lot going against them physically. It'd be, I don't know if you ever sprained an ankle and you can't walk on it or whatever, let alone not having a whole leg that's missing there. But even if you just got to stay off of 1 foot, man, it really is inconvenient. Sometimes you got to stay off of 2. And man, just the crutches, pain in the ass, the armpit they hurt your armpits after a while, and the whole thing sucks, and you obviously don't have the balance or the freedom to just move around without having some kind of support always, and your balance, your strength, everything. I don't have to point out all the reasons that the odds are against you, but you got to work so much harder. So if you can pull off, a competitive level match like that, then it takes a lot of extra talent. At the same time, I would find it very hard to believe that, say, 190-pound one-legged wrestler would be able to do much against, say, like Brock Lesnar.
Right. Yeah.
So in that respect, it's not about just the talent. Otherwise, I'd be a fan of, like, when
Is that going?
No, but no, the guy, he's an American, but he wrestled in Japan against a little girl that looked like she was like 6 years old or something.
Was that wasn't Kenny Omega, was it?
I think it was. That's the match I'm talking about anyway. I don't know what the story was behind that, but if that's not exposing the business, that's like, there used to be an expression way back in the day. In these days when I was wrestling Bad Business Bobby and Greg Valentine and stuff. As a matter of fact, somebody said it about Bobby back then when they were describing him and putting him over, giving him a compliment because he was good with working the crowd and stuff. And someone said he could work with a broom. Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard that or not. It's meant okay. Well, in the business, it's meant as a standard. It's meant as a compliment. It doesn't mean we actually want to see somebody have a match with a broom.
No, right.
The new generation doesn't understand the difference. They think if I go out there and show, and you see it, you see matches with inflatable, blow up dolls or Invisible Men, whatever. I don't know, but that shit's not for me. And my feelings on that aren't quite the same as someone that's able to carry on a fucking decent, good match that entertains everybody, tells a good story, and they only got one leg. Total different exhibition there, in my opinion.
Right. I think too, it's just a manner of, like you're kind of saying too, it's a manner of how you use like a one-legged wrestler. Like you got to make it believable, I think, to convey it, like, or tell a story at least. That's kind of the thing to make it happen and stuff. But and same with overweight wrestlers too. You can do the same thing with that. But there's certainly a balance to it all, I think. But speaking of, we didn't even talk about this. When you were in Australia, you had your first match back. How did it feel getting back?
Yeah, first match back since I broke my heels. So that was a bit of a tester for me. I had a singles match. Mickey.
Ooh, I'll look it up real quick.
Look him up real quick because.
Is it Mickey Moretti? Is that his name?
Mickey Moretti, yeah. I felt great, and it was a really good match. Well, subjectively, as all things are, but I liked our match, as did everyone else. Seemed to enjoy it, and it was really cool. It was cool. It was actually fun. Getting back in there and being able to put my body through it at the stage where I'm at to see how my health is, and after that match, that I was like, boom, good to know, I'm ready to go. So.
Yeah.
So there was that. I think RVD won the match, if I remember right. The 5-star frog splash. The BCW, that's like this third or fourth time trip anyway, because sometimes it's a couple times on a trip that I wrestle for them, and they're always awesome. They're always awesome wrestlers if you get a chance to go there. And the promoter, Matt, is a cool dude. Speaking of BCW, this is just synchronicity, but I have new Topps cards to sign, big box of them to sign. So I got new cards coming out for everybody. I probably shouldn't be showing it, but they're all different. But that's something they do. I just signed, I think 700 and mailed them to them, and then they sent me like another 700. And so that's something, if you didn't know, that we do, keeps us legit. And also, when I was over there in the UK, I saw and signed some of these guys.
Ooh, yeah.
So I finally got the missing piece from my collection. And I got like 4, so I figured I gotta open one up.
No doubt.
Right. And then I was thinking, because I got to see what the other one looks like. And then I remembered, like I used to do that on TNA all the time. We had a segment with Mike Weber where me and SoCal Val would open up the new action figures from Jax, and it was a lot of fun and stuff. And so but I already opened it before I thought, damn, I should have done that on film. But so I want to reenact it, but I don't want to reenact it enough to do it, so I'm not going to. What I will do is I'll show you figure number 1, and because this is hard to understand, there's actually 2 figures in one, because you take the outfit off, which I don't even know how to do. Katie's mom had to take that thing off. I was about ready to rip it, but look what's underneath it.
Whoa, so it is like Robbie V then.
The Robbie V figure from 92, 93, barefoot, pregnant, and no airbrushing. Boom.
Wow.
So, and my leg came off. I don't know if it's supposed to come off or what, but as soon as I opened it, this one, the leg came off. Then I don't even know, like, is that a clue? Is that how I'm supposed to do it? Like, I don't know, but it goes back on, and I won't be playing with it that much. But anyway, Walmart exclusive. You got this bag in the back, and the bag has different hands and boots, because you should put the boots on, obviously, for the tiger striped outfit. Take them off for
Robbie V.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So thank you to Such and Such Collectibles. I forgot. I forgot what the hell the name of the wrestling figs collectibles. I don't know.
Oh, Ringside Collectibles?
Well, no, there's a company in the UK that's carrying this toy exclusively, and I did some videos for them, so hopefully they'll be happy with that and not be pissed and say, we got to take those figures back from them.
Hey, we want it back. Give me the one like Robbie V.
Yeah, try it, guys.
You try it. That's pretty funny, Rob. Like, speaking of synchronicity, I actually opened Marcus. My brother gave me a Razor Ramon version of that for my birthday a while back, and so I literally opened mine up yesterday. So there's the Razor Ramon. Yeah.
Okay.
And he has a little bag in the back too with all his hands. I was like, "What is this bag?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to unwrap it." I thought it was like gold chains or something, and no, it was more hands.
Different
hands for Razor.
Different boots too, or no?
No boots. He came with these boots, and you can't. He's not Razor V. It's not Razor V.
He doesn't have the removable leg.
No remove. I think I could remove his leg if I wanted to. I definitely could. I think I could pop it.
It feels like it's in though, the leg. Like it doesn't feel.
I don't know.
I think.
Yeah, you can pop it out. Like these older toys that kind of reflect like the Ninja Turtles back in the day. You could pop their limbs off and everything and put them back on. So I bet you could kind of do it. I wouldn't recommend trying.
Yeah, I was trying to do it to get the outfit off, and then I realized I was going to break it before I would figure it out. But
Yeah. Well, check it out.
Anyway.
Little figures, Walmart exclusive. You can get the Rob Van Dam version of this. So sure to check your local
And
Walmart.
also at WrestlingFiguresUK.com.
Yes. I'll share the link. When I make this clip and put it on the bottom.
Sweet.
There we go. We got it covered. Ooh, Maddie asked a good question. He says, "What Thoughthausen on Danhausen in WWE? What do you think of Danhausen, Rob?"
I missed his intro, and I see him at cons sometimes, and I met him one time. He and myself and Nash and maybe the Steiner brothers were all in a room, and maybe he pointed out that we were all from Michigan.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's right, because he is from Michigan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him wrestle. I don't know much about that part of him.
Yeah, he doesn't wrestle too often, and you know what? Like, he's more of like a personality and stuff. And so, I know like Nash talked about him on his podcast, and he loves him. He's like, I think he's great and stuff like that. I think he's funny too. Like, there's so much funny shit that he does. His debut, he did get booed in WWE. But like after the fact, like on Raw and stuff like that, his merch is the highest selling T-shirt at WWE shop right now. So
that's always good.
That's always a good sign, right?
Yeah, and I did see somebody had a picture of me with his face and called it Rob Van Danhausen. That was funny.
That was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Arn, they also did an Arn Anderson one too, where his face is painted like Danhausen. Pretty funny shit. All right, today we're excited to introduce a new sponsor to the show, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. They've been fighting for the people for over 35 years and have recovered over $30 billion for their clients. Not only are they one of our new sponsors, but they are also the official law firm partner of WWE. So, what I love most about Morgan & Morgan is that they are truly for the people. Today, they're coming in hot too, and we want to hook one of our lucky customers up with 2 tickets to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas this April 18th and 19th. That's right. They want to send one of you to Las Vegas to watch WrestleMania 42 live. In addition to the 2 tickets to WrestleMania, they will also be giving this lucky winner $2,000 to help cover the travel expenses to Las Vegas. So get ready for that. So to enter, all you have to do is text HEAT42 to For the People. That's HEAT42 to 484-373-6753 and follow the prompts. Don't miss out on your chance to watch WrestleMania 42 live. Just text HEAT42 for the people. Disclaimer, no purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 48 contiguous United States and DC who are 18 plus. Sweepstakes ends March 29th, 2026. This is a paid advertisement. But yes, I like Danhausen. I think they're going to make a lot of money off of him for sure. The Doctor 420. Thanks for the $5. Have you ever taken a bump and immediately thought, "Fuck, this is going to leave a mark"?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like when I broke my rib, ribs take so long to heal, and I was so positive that it was broke instantly, and took a Samoan drop, bam, and just instantly, it was like it hurt to breathe, and I rolled off to the side, and I just sat against the side of the ring for the longest time, waiting to feel good enough to get up and walk off, and it never really did come. That's one of the worst, and that definitely leaves a mark.
Right, like breaking. I knock on wood, I've never broken a rib, but I hear how painful it is and how immobilizing it is too. Like you cannot do anything.
Yeah, it's part of your frame. Bruised ribs also hurt very, very bad, but it's part of your frame, and so like you can't even like do half a sit up to change position if you're laying in bed. If you can find a way to get comfortable, you can't even like lift your leg because the tension has to go through your core, and everything is just your rib cage is just holding everything. So it's it's pretty bad. It's like I guess having the frame on your car cracked, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to put it too. Yeah. Yikes. Yes. So definitely has the Doctor 420. Maddie. Yes. How do you feel about horses and elevators?
In elevators. I like horses in elevators the best.
You in elevators?
Yeah, I prefer.
Yeah. That's what Katie and I talked about too, was like her wanting to go horseback riding, or that you guys.
What, dude? You disappeared.
Oh, okay. Katie said that she wanted to go horseback riding with you.
Oh,
that's what.
Okay. Not something I do too often, but have done over the years. Dango, when he lived in Georgia, he lived on a farm with horses, and he helped break them in and stuff. And he was upset that I was able to jump up the first time smoothly because he was like, you put your hand here and you go up and you kick your leg over the ass and you get, and I was like, like this, he was like, oh, usually takes you a couple tries. we're very competitive. Yeah.
Oh man, that's good. I know we talked about this before, but Dango, what kind of style of wrestler would he have been in your realm? Kind of style of wrestler, or would you think he would have branched off in a different kind of manner of how he kind of handled himself?
Oh, we did everything. Excuse me. We did everything together, so I would imagine that he would have always liked the same kinds of things that I liked. Not 100%, but when we were into martial arts and we were into gymnastics and into wrestling, everything there, we had our own expressions, of course, on it and perspectives, but yeah, I think he would have been my style. I will eventually put something up with him on YouTube. I don't know how to transfer it from VHS, or if I have it maybe on a drive, which I probably do somewhere. But he would have just he and I probably, who knows, probably would have been when we would tag, it was like we were brothers, so it was kind of like the guys in AEW that are they come across like they're brothers and they know each other's moves, and like you have a huge advantage that way over two people that are just thrown together, obviously.
Right.
So we always had that chemistry.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it'll be neat to see him actually wrestle and stuff like that. Be neat to see him do that.
We talked about that guy that we showed Giorgio. I think his name is Paulus, the guy that says, "Take me down, I'll give you $1,000."
Oh yeah, that guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Well, he made the news pretty big within the last week or two. I didn't realize that he wrestled for RAF, Real American Federation, or whatever the F is for.
Yeah.
Must be Federation, right?
I think it's Federation.
But anyway, I guess he already had a match there, and this was his second, is what I understand. But he was wrestling an MMA dude where the promotions for it got heated up. Armin Saruka or something, Armin TSA, let's call him. And he's, people know him though, big star, badass dude, and they had this wrestling match on RAF, and it was a dirty match. It was. You should watch it. Maybe.
Okay. Definitely, I will watch it.
I like telling people what they should do.
I liked watching Olympic wrestling, like when it was the Summer Olympics, and like I was like messaging Kurt Angle, and I was like talking about different guys with him. I thought it was fascinating. So
I think Kurt was there. I think he's one of the commentators. I know. I know. Chael Sonnen was also, but anyway, hell of a struggle. You know, I mean, these guys, like, they were both so fast and so equal and countering each other's moves, you know, and but it was a dirty match. There was several times when Giorgio, maybe he went to clasp the back of the neck or head, but ended up clubbing him in the face instead. And then there was several times, you know, where Armin's looking at the referee like, what the fuck? And one time he like smacks him back right across, just smacks him across the face. And there was a lot of tension building. And Giorgio, when he was reaching for him, he like hit him in his fingers and his eyes and stuff. And then when they were doing the finger lock, it sure looks like Giorgio is trying to twist and break dude's fingers. Like while they're just, like watch it. You gotta watch it.
I like it.
It seemed like he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna win. And it seems like RAF is like, hey, we're amateur thing, but we can do our own rules, you know?
All right. I think
which by the way also apparently includes their wellness program, because Giorgio looked 20 pounds heavier than on the videos that we saw. I'm just jacked, and it looks really good. And I'm still a really big fan of his. But at the very end of the match, when they call time at the end, Armin boom clocks him right across the face, and they start fighting, and it's the biggest schmage ever done on a wrestling show. Because like there's like I don't know, from listening to other people talk about it, there was somewhere between 75 and 200 people that all ran in, and both teams were fighting, and you know, got me thinking, like, are they doing like, you know, it's like a pro wrestling angle on the real American wrestling, and it's like I mean, you can already see right away how they're different, how they do it their own way, you know, and how they allow certain stuff that you wouldn't get away with, you know, if it was collegiate wrestling or something. Hell no. And anyway, in the end, when you see that huge pull apart, I mean, you have to like kind of wonder. I saw Bischoff being interviewed about it, and they said, you know, you wrote a book, Cash equals controversy, the other way around, controversy equals cash, I guess. But and you know, is that why you did this? And he said that everybody should know it wasn't his idea because it went on too long. He said it was just too long. It should have been so much shorter. But that's because everyone kept running in, and then they couldn't get Giorgio back to the dressing room, you know, like finally get him up to the ramp, but then something else starts up, and then he's making his way back down, and it just took a long time to put all the fires out. But it was interesting, though. I wonder if anybody in the comment section in the chat room saw any of that.
Chime in if you guys
things I ever talk about.
Yeah, chime in if you guys did watch it. And I think it's RAF. I don't think it's Federation. Now that I think about it, I think it's Freestyle, Real American Freestyle. I think that's maybe the initials for it, potentially. So, Rob's frozen. Can you guys see us? Let us know if you can see us in the chat. Rob is frozen right now. Let's say hi to a couple people here. NWO War. Hello from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hello. Oh, hey. Rob, there you are. Hey.
Let there be lights.
Let there be lights. Did you hear what I said? I think Real American Freestyle. It's Real American Freestyle, I think is the name.
Oh, right. Of course.
So it dawned on me a little bit afterwards. Yeah.
That sounds better.
Let's see here. We got some other super chats in here. Ribshot, who just posted of RVD on their Instagram.
Yes.
Great stuff, by the way.
Yeah, if you he's gonna be doing some RVD cartoons, and he just posted them today, and I don't know, I shared one on Instagram or something. I got to share all the ones I find, but hilarious. He chose the New Jack stories from the You Shoot.
Yeah. You
Good
and
stuff.
Sean Oliver.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. Rob, any crazy run-ins with Bob Holly? We talked about Bob Holly a couple times on
Yeah, sure. I don't think anything that I would call a run-in with Bob Holly. When me and Booker were a tag team, uh, Bob and Billy Gunn were a tag team, and they would always talk shit to Booker. You know,
Really?
yeah, like they would always talk, like all three of them would talk to each other like they were really tough and like they were gonna fight, and it was just how they horsed around. It was how they bonded. But I really wasn't part of that, you know what I mean? But um Bob would say, Bob would just say like, "Oh, I see you got your good. I see you got your nice stuffy pillow for you today, Book. Are you comfortable enough?" He'd say, "Man, you're gonna find out, man. You're gonna talk to me the wrong way. You're gonna find out in the ring, man. Oh yeah, you know what? I told him it's gonna be me and you tonight, and they, oh yeah, man. It was just silly. They had that relationship, but I knew." That in the meantime, Bob and Billy looked stiff as hell. They looked like they were beating the shit out of everybody. And we did work with them a few times. And, and I liked those matches. It wasn't until we brought ECW back that I wanted to work with Bob really bad because I knew he would push me in the way that I would want to fight back because of my pride in ECW and how much I cared about the image of ECW and ECW RVD and just like that whole thing. And I just knew that he and I were going to have some snug matches and that we were both, good workers. And so it was probably going to be a good snug match. And then we ended up having like some really good matches that people talked about and ended up outdoing ourselves on a regular basis, and really got to build something there, working together a lot on the road. Nothing that I would really consider a run-in. I enjoyed him. Used to talk with him a lot. I remember talking relationships, talking about women at the buildings during the ECW days. I think I don't know if his was new, maybe. Seems like it, like he had a new girl, and we're talking about commitments and how much nicer that is, than belonging to the boys and shit like that. But then, boom! After the ECW fell apart, I don't remember seeing him very much at all.
Yeah, I think after ECW, they paired him up with a young Cody Rhodes to kind of help get him a little bit acclimated with the main roster and everything and working. So he tagged with Cody for a long time. And then I think Cody turned on Bob Holly, and that's when he joined with Randy Orton and stuff like that. So, but then, yeah, after that, I don't know how much longer Bob was around after that. But I do recommend his biography if anybody ever gets a chance to read that. It's probably available on Amazon. I read that way back several years ago, but it's The Hardcore Truth, I think it's called. So if you guys get a chance, give that a read.
Now his partner Billy that I was talking about, Billy Gunn, I've known that motherfucker since 91 or 92.
Wow. So even before he was like one of the smoking guns, like, because he went after that. Wow.
He was a smoking gun with Eddie Mansfield when I met him. Or were they the Outlaw Riders? I think they were called Smoking Guns. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Wow.
The Smoking Guns, their WWE name?
That's their WWE name, Bart and Billy Gunn.
Well, maybe they were the Outlaws or the Riders or something, but it was Billy Gunn and Bart Gunn.
Yeah. Who won the Brawl for All? And
yeah, I met those guys when I was like just turned old enough to drink alcohol.
The crazy thing about Billy too is I actually did not know he was a rodeo cowboy. Like legit rodeo cowboy.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Nuts. It's also funny you bring up tagging with Booker T because like literally I was like looking at Days in History like before the show here, and like in 2004 around this time, Rob, you were tagging with Booker T. Like during this month of March, you were tagging quite a bit with Booker T actually. And you were the World Tag Team Champs with them. You were fighting Matt Hardy and Test, Batista and Randy Orton, Garrison Cade, Mark Jindrak. all this was around March and February here, so that's pretty neat. Lots of different teams going.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody made this. A fan made this, gave it to me, and it's got like all these belts that I've won. Right.
Yeah. Move it over a little bit to the other side. To your left. To your left. Let's see. Oh, I see it now. Okay. Sweet. Look at that. That looks great. That's badass. Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
And so, I know, when you say the tag team, I think, I believe I had tag team belts with Booker, with Rey Mysterio, and with Kane, and maybe that's it. I think in the WWE.
I think you nailed it.
But recently, I saw somewhere where it had Booker and had all the belts like this underneath him, and his looked like he'd been wrestling twice as long as me. There was so many more belts. I didn't realize that, but it looked like way more belts than mine had.
He won quite a bit when he was in WCW too, though.
He must have.
Yeah, he won quite a few different ones, tag teams, and then the U.S. television. So he probably run like 5 different belts in WCW.
Once a winner, always a winner.
Hey, sucker. Let's see. Frankie asked another question. Any extra info on the All Japan back of the bus wrestlers? Extra info on All Japan back of the bus wrestlers.
Who wants to know that, Frankie?
Frankie does. Yep.
If I had it to do all over again, which I don't, so it's not even worth exploring. But at this stage in life, it almost seems silly to group myself in with anybody because, I learned that I'm strongest as an individual when I don't have to conform to any other standards, whether it's set by peers, society, whatever. Anyway, when I was in All Japan, I started very young, 22 years old, just turned 22, just weeks ago. I was a baby and a very immature 22. And that's when I started on the big ass bus that we would drive around. It's split up. The office sits in the front and the hoods sit in the back. And anyone that's not an office, if they smoke, if they like to go out, or if they're into finding rats, or if they're into anything, if they leave their hotel room, basically, then they're a hood. The office guys stay in their room. Maybe they'll meet each other down at the hotel dinner or whatever. And the other guys, we're like, hey, let's go to Roppongi tonight, and we're, we want to go out and party. And that's what the life was about back then. I definitely was one of the hoods, but there was some times when I didn't feel like I fit in, and I was okay with that, I felt like I was just an extension of them. Like I remember being in a room where they were all doing what I still am not exactly sure what the fuck this is, but a drug called ice.
Ice.
Yeah, ice, baby. Ooh. And it was something where in Nagoya, the Turkish dealers that Gary Albright would get the weed from, he was asking if they had anything else, and I think they did. I think they went, and I think they were doing coke and then upgraded to ice. But if I might sound like an idiot to people that understand that more than I do, all I know is they were talking about. They went to pick it up. Like they went with the guy, gave him the money. They drove down the road, and they had shit hidden under like orange construction cones in the road.
What?
Lifted up, pulled out a bag, fucking boom, and took off. And they had they had this weird system. I bought weed from them one time, me and Bobby Duncan Jr., and it was so weird because usually Gary would buy. They were like our bigger brothers, Gary, Doc, this one time they're like, why don't you guys get it? Because we were always like, are you getting weed? Are you going to get weed? Or hash. A lot of times hash was easier to get than weed, which was concentrated weed anyway,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it was easier to get, same price and better, so we would get hash. But when we tried it one time, it was like a big park, and we had to go down this long trail, and they said, you just walk down and someone will approach you. Don't worry about it. We're like, okay. And so me and Bobby are walking down. Dude comes up to us, and he says, what are you looking for? And we're like, oh, hashish, He said, all right, keep walking. We're like, okay. And so we keep on walking, and he gets on the fucking phone and calls somebody ahead, and somebody comes up, and somewhere we were told the amount, and we kept walking, gave somebody our money, and then kept walking, and then somebody put the shit in our hand, and we were like, let's get the fuck out of here, because we were like scared, we're gonna go to jail or what? This is sketchy. But yeah, those guys, when it came to the ice, they had it under the orange construction cones on the road, and they had the whole fucking they had the system. But anyway, I was in a hotel room with a bunch of those guys on ice, whatever the fuck that is, and I wasn't like really enjoying myself that much, but it was more like killing time.
Yeah.
And I used to smoke the hash out of a can, the beer can. Take the can and you make it into a pipe by stabbing holes in it. You make a little screen you take a pen, put a bunch of holes in it, and then you set the weed or hash on top of it, and you put the lighter and you suck it through, and you make it a can into a pipe. Fucking God, I learned that in '92 in a hotel room party, and Chris Benoit was there, and Max Payne was there, and I wanted to smoke, but I'd never smoked out of a can. I didn't know how to do it. And Max Payne gave it to me, and I was like, how do you do it? I was young and awkward, kind of even embarrassed to ask. And Max goes, here, you take this, and instead of saying bud, he goes, you take this piece of pot and you put it right there, and treated me like a fucking idiot. Like, fucking thanks, dude. Like, and Benoit staring at me like, what's the matter with you? And I'm just like, like, take me away. Take me away. And it did take me away. But in that one room, that one time, I was smoking the hash, and these guys were going from window to window to looking out the keyhole or the peephole of the door. They were so paranoid. They were just like, did you hear that? And they were like, look, and I was like, I'm not sure. It looks like these guys are having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was already thinking, like, I'm not having that much fun because I'm just smoking this and they're acting weird, and I don't have anything to talk to them about anyway. And I really don't want to be here, except for they got me this, so I feel obligated to hang out with them. And at the same time, they're acting crazy. Fucking ice. I don't know. Someone in the chat room tell me what ice is.
Frankie tells us ice is meth, worst drug you can do.
Oh.
It keeps you up for days and causes hallucination. People get off of it by getting sent to prison, and they are glad.
Wow.
Ooh, ice.
Yeah,
man. Didn't think that, Rob.
It's something about traveling international that makes wrestlers do things they wouldn't normally do. Sometimes it's fucking their wives. Sometimes it's just drinking or even going out. Sometimes they don't normally even go out, but they'll go out with the boys because you're all overseas, stuck together, whatever. Sometimes it's like drugs that they don't normally do. Like I've told this story a lot, but one time I had way too much weed to handle in England, and we were going home like in the morning, and this is when I was with TNA, and I had so many of the guys that never would you think of that would ever smoke. Just because we were in England, they were like, yeah, I'll smoke with you. And I had, like, it seemed like 10 guys that were all like fucking trying to finish this really fat fucking ounce, or maybe it was 2 ounces, but it was in a matter of hours, during the show, and then that night until the morning. And man, I don't want to drop a lot of names, but they weren't the guys that I normally smoke with, and they weren't guys that I would peg for ever being smokers.
How about
But it's because
that?
you're overseas. You know, like I said, a lot of guys, they think it's okay to cheat on their spouses only when they're overseas or something. You know, and it's like you know, I mean, uh, I don't want to let's see, I don't want to put anybody down, but let's just say sometimes these wives are packing the bags for their boys, washing their clothes, packing it for them, making sure they got everything to go, and they go, and then they got that kind of relationship where I guess they don't give a fuck. But anyway, yeah, overseas. Even Michael Hayes let his hair down overseas. That was on the airplane from hell. Like I said, dude, your hair's down. I'm on my day off. I'm on my day off. I let my hair down. One time I said like it was real symbolic for him to have his hair down. And then pretty soon, who was he? Somebody was punching at him, and he was like doing this. Like a little while later on the airplane, I can't remember who it was, but yeah, that's a truth though. You know, people when they go overseas, they give themselves a little extra freedom.
That's I wonder what it is that lets them like, okay, I'm overseas. Well, fuck it, then I'll just do this and that. Yeah.
But I think also, even imagine like kids and you go on a school trip, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, here in Vegas, a private school, and these 8th graders went to a school trip to Costa Rica, and they raped one of the other kids, a boy. And they keep saying, every time it's on the news, they keep saying it was inhumane, like really. They don't use the word violent. Can't remember what the adjective is, but it sounds like probably some props were involved and stuff. And anyway, it's been on the news a lot here because the kids are getting charged as adults. At least 2 of them are, and they're trying to charge everybody. But they recorded it and I guess put it all online and shit like that. And dude, that's a private school. I wouldn't think, and 8th grade, and you would think like if you're not safe there, where are you safe?
That's it, right? Holy crap. Ugh. And then you think about in today's world too, it's just like, yeah, you implement phones and social media and accessibility. That's crazy to even, awful. Holy crap. Let's see here.
But also, you know, I'll even like some other examples that I could think of. I can remember being overseas before, and it's almost just like like I said before, in that room, sometimes it's like you're doing time. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna go home. You got 3 more days, and you're in London. Whereas realistically, it's not that different from being in a hotel in the States. You can go back to your bedroom, but instead you end up with that feeling. And I remember the last time I went to For the Love of Wrestling, not last week, but the time before, I remember specifically sitting at a table at the bar at Scott Hall, you know, sitting there with a beer and saying, you know, Robbie, me and you never sit down and have a beer. We never have a talk like this. And it's because we were in England.
Yeah. Wow, man. Yeah, that's pretty. It's wild to kind of think that. Like, but no, I think your field trip is a great comparison to that because like if you're going, even if you go out for the day as kids, like at school, hey, we're gonna go see a movie. Things get a little nuts. Yeah. But I mean, if you're wrestlers and you're in Japan, there's ice available under road cones and stuff. So that adds a whole nother layer right there. What else was I going to ask you about, Rob? Oh yeah. So we kind of touched a little bit, I think, on creative stuff, but Road Dogg left WWE. He was, did you hear that? He was like,
I did hear that. Yeah.
He resigned apparently, how it was. Yeah. The word is that he, they gave a year-end review that he was not certainly a fan of. I don't know all the in and outs of it though, but, I was just thinking too about creative aspect and like how that comes into play. And I know you didn't have any hands in creative or like weren't a part of those meetings and stuff like that, but how much do you remember how much of like that kind of shifted and how much of a political game that kind of was in WWE with the creative aspect of things, I guess, from that side of it? And how was that? How frustrating was that for you and frustrating for others?
Man, it was very frustrating for me because I hated politics. I totally believed in something that's really not a true virtue. Like I don't think it really exists. And that is that if I'm good enough, they should see it and have to protect their investment in me and do the right thing. I really don't think that exists, but I believed at the time it did. I thought I shouldn't have to kiss ass. I shouldn't have to go pitch ideas. I shouldn't have to make friends with the right people. Look, they own me. You know, they have my intellectual property rights. They have me under contract. They're booking me to work every fucking day. If they're seeing the crowd interacting with me and they like what they see, then how are they not going to do the right thing and just push me? And I was stuck on that because the politics are the opposite. The politics are three times a day. All the heads have a meeting and sit around the round table, and everybody pitches for their own ideas, and they always have political agendas behind it. And it seemed like maybe like say Fit Finley would say, well, here's why Chris Jericho needs to be in the main event tonight. And here's why we need to get Kane, you know, really good spot. And then you'd have someone else, Paul, would say, here's why RVD needs to be in the main event spot tonight. And then you would have Arn Anderson and whoever he pulled for. And it was just like everyone had like their own agenda. And at the same time, it always seemed like those heads, and then there's Triple H saying, no, not RVD. he's not the right guy. Here's why I should be in the main event tonight. And then with all of those.
Oh, I think we lost Rob. Maybe again. Who can you see on here? Chat. Can you see me or can you see Rob? Let me know. Oh, there we go. I think you're back. You're kind of back. Uh-oh, he was back. Chat, let me know who you can hear if it's issues on my end or Rob's end. RVD froze. Okay. Triple E says RVD froze. So RVD is frozen. Maddie adds. Oh, you're almost back. Hello, there you are.
You got a storm going on or something?
No, nope. They said it was you. They said you're freezing up a little bit here and there.
You were freezing up the whole show. You're frozen now.
Am I frozen? Really?
You were when I said that. Yeah. Oh, you're not now. Now you are again.
Uh-oh. Rob, the chat's saying you're freezing up on there.
I can hear you, but you're frozen.
You can hear me? Okay. Oh, see, Rob's frozen on my end now, too. Dang it. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Now you're very blurry, though. See, you're frozen blurry on my end.
Well, it's been doing this the whole time.
Yeah, well, it's been like really off and on kind of thing. I don't know. Pat Ramondo
Let me try to finish what I was saying.
Yes. Let's
see
if we
can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
So you got all the you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
No.
No, I can.
So you got all the heads. Okay.
I can hear you a little bit. It's chopping in and out.
I don't know, dude. This is
shoot.
Now we're dark again. I see me.
Rob, do you want to try do you want to try exiting and entering back in? If you heard that. Well, I'll text you.
I can try it.
Try it. Yeah, try it. Try exiting.
Do something.
It might. Sometimes that kind of helps reset it a little bit if you exit and enter back in. Okay, so Rob will be back here in a second. In the meantime, while Rob enters and exits, check out Happy Hippo. We're big fans of Happy Hippo. You can check it out. Really good stuff. Kratom is awesome. I take the gummies. They're really, really good. And I like the cherry lime, but I'm excited to try the blue raspberry. You can take different kinds of Kratom too. The green helps you get more alert, and it's kind of enhances maybe makes you more open to social stuff. The red can help you relax and potentially get some help you sleep and everything like that. But try it out. Happy Hippo. Give it a try, everybody. Hold on a sec. All right, Rob is back. All right, let's see if it works. So far, so good, Rob.
All right, you're frozen right now, but
dang it, am I?
You were. Now you're not.
Yeah, no, you're good on my end right now.
All right. Well, I wonder if they see you frozen when I see you frozen, or do they just see me frozen?
They were seeing you frozen. The chat was saying.
Because you've been freezing the whole time. All right. Anyway, if it's still good, so all the heads sit at the table and they all have their agendas with what wrestlers they're trying to put in the best spots on the show and put over. And at the same time, all those motherfuckers were scared for their own jobs. And so they felt like this is what I got from reading it. Every one of those guys, the suits and ties that sat at the round table, they all felt like they have to have so many good ideas that are accepted. Otherwise, they're not earning their validity, And so they would try to look busy, like I said before, Terry Taylor running around, has anyone seen RVD? And what's seen RVD? Like just because they want to look busy because they don't last long, you know what I mean? And they don't stick around long. It's a good old boys clique, and a lot of how many wrestlers have we seen come and go? Legends, like $1 Million Man and Ricky Steamboat and guys, that like, hey, they're there, and then hey, they're not there anymore, and it's like those guys, for maybe the wrong reasons, want their ideas to be picked up, even if their idea is, hey, it's time to, it's time to push. We got to push fucking whatever. We got to push Crash Holly tonight and have him knock over the taco stand for the hardcore belt, whatever it is. Like if this guy is saying, hey, we need to crown Trish the champion. This person's saying, we need to do this. That's what I always got out of those political mashups, headbutting contests in the room. And that's what it looked like, kind of like from what I saw at Netflix when JL or the guy we're talking about, Road Dogg, like I saw somebody made the reference to that, like he pitched an idea and I think they were like, are you serious right now? Is that what you're suggesting? And he was like, well, I got to say something. Like, do you remember that? Like, I don't know exactly how it happened, but it was exactly what I'm talking about, where either he said something and they didn't like the idea and he was offended by it, but then he also started feeling not worthy and shit. And did that have something to do with him resigning? I don't know.
Yeah. I think so what I was gathering from the Netflix show Unreal, I didn't watch it, but from what I heard, Road Dogg maybe pitched to put the title back on Chelsea Green, I think was the thing he was kind of pitching for. And everybody or somebody tried pushing back at it. And Road Dogg was like, all right, well, yeah, okay, if that's the case, but yeah. So I think who knows if that had something to do with, but it does maybe show you how the kind of structure of it all is. And, if I'm sure that can be very frustrating too, if you believe in something and it kind of gets, shot down by, I don't know, all the games that get played and everything. It's got to be frustrating, I would think.
I hated it. Always hated it. Like I said, like when I would be working with certain guys, like the ones that sat at that table, and they'd be like, you got any ideas? I'm like, why are we wasting time, bro? You know what we're going to do, and it ain't going to be my ideas. So can we please hit fast forward? Please.
That's it. And you know what? I'm sure a lot of those guys or whoever was there would be just pitching to know what Vince liked at the time. Sure. That's I know it might not philosophically be how I view wrestling, but I know this is what Vince was like. So I'm going to pitch it to him to try to get this going through. Like it might not.
Yeah. What is your agenda? Is your agenda to get an idea up on the scoreboard, or is your idea to do the right thing. You know?
Right. Well, Road Dogg too, he was known for the Kofi Mania stuff when that happened, like when Kofi won the title and like got over big time.
Part of it. That was part of it, right? Like they didn't know he didn't know he was there or some shit. I don't know. That was part of it.
I don't know either. But like, and then like Kofi was on that reign for WrestleMania and everything, and like then they jobbed him out to Brock Lesnar like in 8 seconds, and like, you know, that was after a big build for Kofi as the champion and everything, and then, you know, it all got dashed away like that real quick. So
I don't know.
Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level, championship belt, gold-plated energy. One of a kind, if you will. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. No. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works just as little in 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. And we at RVD got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code RVD. That's promo code RVD. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And hey, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Rob, even dealing at the local level, sometimes you see how creative works at like a small independent promotion, and it can be like really sticky and weird. And it's just like, wow, really at this level too? It's crazy.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Somebody asked another question here. What was
you got to have the right balance of both. Like for me, just having that heel mentality made me think I'm just there doing my job. We're not, and none of us are better than each other. And certain guys get ahead by kissing ass and hanging out with the office and making friends with the people that are in charge of the program. And it didn't seem fair. It seemed, you know, like political bullshit. But looking at the bigger picture now, really in any other job, that would just make you like a good employee with intuition, you know, with like someone that wants to do things, pitch ideas, make things better. Like it's not that much of a bad thing if you're not in the fucking wrestling dressing room. It's you know what I mean? Like that's why I say if I went back, maybe I would change some things. You got to have a balance of it. There's nothing wrong with you don't have to hide from the office like I did all day and expect them to do the right thing 100% of the time, you know?
Yeah, right. Because it's like, you know, they have expectations of talent maybe to do stuff like you were saying. What was it like? Bruce Pritchard was trying to be like, well, you know, Vince really views you in a certain way and stuff like that, and you kind of were like, oh, well, doesn't he already view me? Shouldn't he already view me that way, kind of thing? And it's just like there's certain expectations that maybe go with it too at the same time. But it's like, do you really like? I'm kind of with you too at the fact like I don't want to be like really trying so hard to get things, and you know, when it's against my values and stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing, you know, obviously all of us would do anything to be there. We all wanted to wrestle since we were kids. We all would have given our fucking left nut to make our dreams come true. So of course, you know, are we going to put things in our body? Why the fuck not? You know, are we going to fucking try and come up with cool moves or copy people? Sure, everyone's going to do that, you know, like, and having that state of mind where, you know, I got to do whatever to get ahead of everybody else, and I got everyone's competition right now, and I got to stand out and get myself ahead. Like with all that, it's just how flexible are your values and how important are the ones, you know, that come into play here, you know. And for me, it's like I couldn't have been someone else besides me. I couldn't have, you know, like no matter how many times I try and go back and think about, you know, what if I would have done this? But I can say if I would have had ideas, I would have went to Vince. I went to him with the idea about ECW, you know, I went to him with some ideas. I went to him one time and thought we were going to have wrestlers Flintstone vitamins, and I was following up with him on that. He loved the idea, and so like in ways when it seemed right, I could do that, but I didn't think but I thought that like if I go and say, what'd be really cool is if I beat Chris Jericho and then I was holding that belt, for like an 8-week run and he was chasing me and every time we did this and that, well, then I feel like I'm playing with someone else's life too. And maybe I care too much about that, but that's where you start thinking about, that's where it starts getting sticky. You start thinking, wait a minute, so because then Jericho's going to be like, wait, so now I'm going to get beat and then I got to be like Jason instead of the champion because they liked his idea. Why? Because he bought him a fucking milkshake at Waffle House. You know what I mean? Like, who even knows why decisions are made? But it just felt like from that state of competition and being, a hood, it felt better to just do our best and then bitch about it if we weren't placed accordingly.
Yeah. It's such and like to kind of get through the filters of maybe that you have to go through to get to Vince at some points in time, also added another layer of frustration to it all too, because it's just like, oh, maybe, you wait in line to see him or, it goes through somebody else and your message doesn't get conveyed as well or something to that.
How about this? How about pressure to give more feedback and pitch more ideas, but you don't have any? Then what? Then what? Then you then you just start coming up with, like we could do this. I'm just joking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be very frustrating to be sitting in that writer's room and to be like pitching ideas and then they just keep getting turned down. It's not going to happen, and then they just do. And something.
If that's your job, if you're sitting at that round table and it's your job. And you're like, they haven't liked one of my ideas like in at least a month, and I haven't had any ideas because I don't like the product right now. I better fucking do something, Then you got all kinds of pressure to fucking earn your keep.
Like it's like, how valuable am I right now? It's like I gotta survive.
I better just pick a. If you're an agent, you're like, I better just pick a wrestler and make them my project.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like Terry Taylor wanted you.
Yeah, I did for a little while, telling me, Rob, you can't be late. I can't be having you come in here late after we've already. Terry, fuck off. That's what I felt like. How long have you been here, bro? You don't just show up and pick me because you want to feel busy. Fuck off. Yeah, I mean, I like him, but that's what that time was like for me.
Yeah, at that point, you're just like, fuck off, Terry. Battleground Collectible says, "What's up, Rob? Miss you, buddy. Hope you're well." So, shout out to
I'm well indeed. Well with the babies, they're growing. Saba, she's already taking the car out, and yeah, she doesn't drive as good as Karma, but when the lights out, it's okay. But no, they're good though. You can see, not that you've seen them yet, but they're 10 weeks now, I guess, ish, and it's funny seeing their features settle in more, and they're becoming like more people. Like you can almost start picturing how they're going to look older when they're not bald.
Does one of them? Are you being able to tell if one like looks more like Katie or one looks more like you at this point?
I don't think I've seen Katie very much, and maybe one time I think I noticed a little bit on Karma, but for the most part, everybody says they both look like me.
Yeah,
that seems to be the common feeling on it.
The funny thing too is as they develop and change a little bit, I'm just seeing it from my niece's perspective. Like I would see my brother Marcus so much in like his oldest Piper, but then at other points in times, like, oh, I definitely see Heather, his wife, in her too.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of neat to see that change happen a lot for sure. How was it being away from them and then being back?
It was all right. I missed them. Looked forward to coming back to them, but at the same time, one, they don't do much except for cry and drink milk,
Yeah.
um, and and then also I think about like my grandpa died when I was like 2 years old. I don't remember him at all.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, like I feel like I'm hanging out with them, bonding. I feel like we're connecting. We're looking in each other's eyes and having all these moments. But then in the end, it's not something they're even going to remember, not for
Yeah.
a while. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
so yeah. But and Katie had to hold it down here, and she had help, of course, and all the fans were asking about the kids and of course about her, and she would have loved to have been on the trip, but obviously wasn't able to. But she's always talking about bringing them. Like whenever I talk about one of the bookings I got coming up now, she's like, "Oh yeah, and we can bring the kids." Like every time now, so it's making me feel like I'm going to be going around with an entourage. Might have to get the Sabu Winnebago back on the street.
That's it, right? Get the keys. Find the keys.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something. Dang. Shoot. Can't remember what it was. But, oh, yeah. Your singlet was awesome, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully it's not faded. Yeah, those things fade pretty quick. And I don't know how many matches I'm going to have this year, but I already got 2 for the WrestleMania week.
Wow. How about that?
The Big Time Wrestling, who was Kirk White's. Kirk White was a good friend of mine. He ran Big Time Wrestling out of California in San Jose.
Yeah.
He was a friend to a lot of us, and he passed away a couple years ago. And his family, his wife and family, is keeping it going, and they've been trying to book me. And lo and behold, they're coming right here to my doorstep. So we're gonna make that work. And then the GCW late night show that Sabu retired his career on last year. I'm going to be on that show.
All right. Yeah, because Katie's a special guest referee for that too.
Yep. Not for my match, but yes, for that night.
Oh man, I'm excited. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Speaking of Vegas, if you want to see Rob in Las Vegas,
it's a busy week.
Yes, you
it's
can.
Busy week, dude. Parents at the Nerd Bar on. I'm not sure which day that one is. On Monday, I'm doing the WWE World.
Yep. So here it is. Here's the dates. March 21st, he's going to be in Seattle, or not Seattle. Where is it?
Spokane,
Washington. Thank you. And then April 19th, he'll be at WrestleCon. So be sure to check him out there, WrestleCon in Vegas. And then, yes, the Nerd Bar, April 19th as well. RVD party going down there. And then on Monday, April 20th, after WrestleMania, you can check him out at WWE World going down. So he's
dude. I go through, and it's what I've done for a long time. Is I just go through offers, like every day, and that's as proactive as I have to get, to keep super busy. And it seems like things are coming through every day. Go ahead and squeeze right in between March 21st and April 19th right there, and spread that open. And April 12th, RVD will be where? In whose town? In whose town?
Whose town?
Steel City.
You're gonna be in Pittsburgh?
I'm gonna be in your town.
What?
Steel City Comic Con. Steel City Con on the 12th. 12th.
No shit.
Yep. It just came through.
How about that? Wow. They might not have. Okay.
I did some other ones that aren't up on my site yet for the next few months, but yeah, everything's good though. Lots of exciting dates coming ahead. Lots of good stuff in between, and life is awesome.
Heck yeah. All right. So he's going to be national again. He's going to Washington, going to be in Pittsburgh, going to be in his hometown of Las Vegas, or his backyard of Las Vegas. So Heck yeah. Cool. Is there anything else you want to plug, Rob? It's been a good first episode back.
Plug. Let's see. You ain't caught none of the Jacques Rougeau bullshit yet, have you?
No, what is that?
Okay. I just you know, since I got this podcast, it's appropriate. Otherwise, I would just rise above it. But Jacques reached out to me, and it was inquiring about booking me in Montreal.
Oh,
and
okay.
He's got a convention thing there, and he's got wrestling at night. I thought that he wanted me to wrestle and do the convention, which was a misunderstanding. But either way, we were so far off on the price that it was very comical. It was comical. He's like, "Holy shit, Rob! Holy shit, Rob!" And I'm like, "You think I'd come in for that? Seriously? And you had to go get that approved? You're kidding me, right?" He's like, "Holy shit, what?" And it was just funny. Obviously, it's not going to work, and it's like, all good, like you can get a lot of other guys, no problem. And, but now him and Hannibal, the guy from Canada. This is Hannibal. They're having words back and forth. And Hannibal's mad at Jacques, and he's calling him out for he says he's a fake nice guy, and that he's really a scammer and piece of shit and all this stuff. And he goes through and tells his stories about him. But then he plays the tape where his voicemail where Jacques is calling Hannibal asking about me.
What?
Yeah. And Jacques says that to Hannibal, he wants to know, what kind of a person is a RVD too. Jacques, you don't have to worry about what kind of person I am. I'm the kind you can't afford. That's all you need to worry about, dude. Go ahead and ask around, real people don't have to put themselves over. That's why standing outside of the wrestling business, I get sick of seeing every wrestling promo, because all it is everyone tapping into their ego saying, "I'm the best, no one can beat me." And I've heard that enough. I've heard enough people say that. I've expressed that enough. I don't even want to express that anymore, even if I'm getting paid to do that, I forgot where I was going. Oh, the promo.
People don't have to express themselves, like if they.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna bother telling you what kind of guy I am. You know what I mean? It's just like if someone asks, oh, you think you're a tough guy, and then they start explaining, well, I did this and that, and I must be pretty tough. I did this. Don't worry about selling yourself. And don't be so in love with yourself either. That's some RVDology for you that I've been trying to keep tapping into last week. And that's not just for Jacques. That's everybody. Everyone's so in love with themselves. We're all taught to, and it's because that's our self-defense system. It tells us that we are number one, and anything that threatens that causes our ego to jump out. Here's what I'm going to do. I got 5 recommendations this week.
Ooh, okay.
Even though I'm going to kind of make them as I go along, but I think I can do it though. And they are things I'm going to recommend that you, the listener, the watcher, do if you agree with me that being angry is not where you want to be. Now, people keep telling me when I was in the UK, and they did Macintosh.
Kenny McIntosh?
Thank you, Kenny McIntosh. Yeah, but he was just saying, like after we had a 3-hour ride to Scotland, he was just like, "Dude, you're like the coolest laid back guy ever. You know, you're so easy to deal with." And I'm like, "Duh." And he went out and he told the crowd that too. Like, we've been driving together. He's like the coolest guy you'll ever. And you know, and I say, well, I try to put that out there. You know, I like that. I like that people know me for that, and it is a conscious effort. And I hate angry RVD. I also hate angry other people. So first off, if you want some tips on not being angry, the first one that you got to do is you got to agree with me, and you have to not like the angry version of you. Now, when I'm angry and I'm screaming, and the ego takes over and shit, especially like if I'm yelling at like at a partner, you know, like if it was like me and Katie, or even me and the Evil X, if we got into a screaming whatever, afterwards I would feel so bad. I would hate that I lost control, and then everything I said that was hurtful, I would hate myself for saying that, and I would think I'm above that. Even if she did deserve it, I can't believe that I unloaded and pulled all that ammo out that I could have saved in my back pocket for another time. You know, if you don't mind yourself being angry, then whatever. But the first thing out of 5 things that's going to help you is you have to agree that that angry you is not the best you. When you let the anger out and the rage takes over, it's like the Incredible Hulk. But once David Banner or Bruce Banner changes into the Incredible Hulk, he's stuck as the Hulk now. You know, Hulk smash, and he destroys everything and rages. But we're not like that. It's not like once you fucking transform, you can't go right back. So you still have control over your emotions. And what you need to do is recognize in its early stages, and that will stand out if you truly don't want to be angry. It'll become important to you. And when it's one of your main priorities, as soon as you notice that you're getting angry, you'll cut it off, and you'll tap yourself in the head for even thinking about that. And that won't go away probably. That might always be there, but that's the process. And then you don't get angry. Here's another thing. You have to understand this. When your self-defense system tells you that your person is in jeopardy, maybe you're just being insulted, maybe somebody's attacking you with a knife, huge difference. But your ego doesn't know at first, because your self-defense system says, hey, get up, you know, fucking stand up, fucking, you know, boom, let's defend us. And you might just have to say, no, I'm not. Or you might have to get out of the way or fucking duck a bullet or something. But it's your self-defense system that tells you it always wants to protect you. Always. That's always. But that also allows you to believe that you're always the best, you know, and your certain perspective believes that. Like, even if it's a half a joke, you know, if you're like, I'm not the ugliest person in this room. You have to know everything is subjective. You know, I'm the only one in this room right now. So I am the ugliest one in this room. And I have to deal with that. I have to accept that. So even though the system wants you to jump up and defend and argue, what are you fighting against? It might not even be it might not even be an invalid factor that you're fighting against. It could be something really true, you know, like, hey, you're moving kind of slow today. And your instincts is, no, I'm not. Fuck off. Mind your own business. What if you really are moving slow? Was it necessary to fucking defend yourself and attack that person? No. If you really don't want to get angry because you don't like being angry, learn to just accept the fact that when you yell and scream, what that does is that makes up for the difference between how tough you really are, according to you, how tough you really think you are, and how tough you want to project yourself to be. You know, someone like Mike Tyson, you're going to hear him do a promo and he might say, I'm going to eat your kids and whatever. But he's not going to be like the guy on the street that's going, what now? What now? You know, that guy is screaming because he's really not that tough. And he's trying to make up for the big lack between where his toughness ends and where he wants the range to go. He hopes to scare anybody, intimidate them, and you know what? He will. It's just like animals in the jungle when they growl and they do shit like that too. Or peacock, you know, gets its big feathers and it gets bigger, and that's all tricks to try to intimidate, to make up for not having like a sure thing. It makes them more of a threat. And it's the same thing when someone screams. So I want you to realize that and don't be that idiot. You know, if you're screaming at somebody and you're hoping that they'll be scared of you, well then, hey, if that's what you got to do to survive and you don't want to fight and you're hoping you can end the fight, then by screaming, then that's the right time to do that. If you're doing it because you think it makes you sound tough and you really do want to fight, but you're scared, dude, you're just playing games, and they're survival animal-like games. So here's something that I'm going to tell you to do: de-escalate. It's something you can work on. If it's important to you, work on recognizing when your emotions are getting hot, and then try to de-escalate. And there's different ways of doing that. If it's in a conversation with somebody, then de-escalate them. If you see someone that's getting all worked up, here's a trick. Someone's screaming at you and they're saying, we're not going to make our flight now because we said we were going to leave at 2:00 and it's already 20 after 2, and now we're not going to leave. If you're talking to somebody, this is a trick I picked up somewhere that I think is warranted. Instead of using the word but because it's confrontational, use the word and, but say the same thing. It's a negotiation tactic at that point. Like if someone says, there's no way we're going to fucking make it. It takes 30 minutes to get to the airport and we would have had to leave at 2 and it's already 10 after 2. So instead of saying, but you had to fucking, change your clothes and put your makeup on. And I know that, but when you say but, it makes them want to defend themselves because it feels like an attack word, even subconsciously. But if you use and, you say, yeah, and we're going to leave in 4 minutes. Traffic's going to be great and on our side, and we're going to get there. Just that little bit is a trick. You say, hey, I'm having a fucking horrible day. I don't think I'm going to make it. Instead of saying, but you got so many people that depend on you. Instead, I hear you, and I think you are going to make it. Isn't that more peaceful?
Yeah. It definitely levels things out because,
I hear you, and I think you are going to make it, bro. I feel like that too myself sometimes. So anyway, that's one way to de-escalate. Another way is when shit happens to me, I've talked about this before. Me and Katie both do this. It actually makes stuff funny sometimes, but stuff that where obviously you should react with anger, especially if you were that kind of a person. We react with sarcasm, So it's like, okay, we're late for the airport already. We get in the car. Sweet. Guess what? We got to get gas. Oh yes. That's awesome. Shit like that. And then it makes it like you got to go through it anyway. So why get hot about it and just ruin every moment because you're looking at it from an angry point of view? So sarcasm works great. I always say, oh, cool. Hopefully she'll come over and want to stay over and talk about stupid shit like all night so we don't get any sleep. That'd be really awesome. I could go for that tonight. It's fun. It's tongue in cheek. I don't know if I've had 5 yet or not.
I think you de-escalated. I think you did 5. I think you got 5.
Well, those are some, know what, guys? If you agree with now, some people like getting angry. They feel like they want people to respect them. They like people being afraid of them. It's how they get things done, whatever. For me, it's really not a big part of my life. I feel like anger is one of my least favorite emotions. I mean, being really sad and depressed is up there too. But it seems like anger has a way of stressing me out where I feel like it ages everything. Like it's like it's like you got a slow wick, like a candle wick, and you got like a little flame that's just like taking its time. And then when you get angry, it's like it goes.
Yep.
And it's like just the power comes out and it burns through. And I just feel like people that get angry, that are stressed out, they have all kinds of they got all kinds of expectable health issues with blood pressure and stress is the number one enemy to human health. It comes in all kinds of forms. When it comes to shit that you could do something about, like not getting too angry because it will it'll cut you short. It'll fucking it'll cut your lifespan short. Life's too short already. Fucking definitely not worth going through it being mad.
Right. And like, I'm with you, Rob, too. When I get mad, and after the fact, when I get mad, I feel really like embarrassed and ashamed. Like I'm like, oh God, like how did I get to that level where I got that angry and like I just lost control? And it's just like, it's not a good feeling.
Imagine not reaching that stage and instead feeling like you need to defend angry you because you're a basic thinker and that's all you think about is I need to defend my story and I need to narrate it the way that puts me in the best light. Yeah, motherfucker, you're right. I did almost kick your ass because you wouldn't fucking shut up. And you just, what if you just stayed in that fucking dumbass, angry, basic thinker state of mind?
Yeah. It's man, you don't get past that and you just keep doing it. It's that, but like you don't learn from it either. It's but no, that's
miserable.
Real miserable stuff. We did get some super chats in too. We'll cover these real quick and then we'll close it out. Let's see. Maddie just said,
"Hey, baby."
I was gonna join, but I picked Smokey.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna. It's actually not smoky. I was just gonna spark up. Okay. Katie's gonna join. Oh, she's gonna say,
"Hey, y'all.
What's up, Katie? How are you?"
Hey,
what's up?
She's got Karma. And she's
hanging out with kids.
All right.
Karma isn't ready to be have her face on camera yet.
Yeah, she's hungry.
Oh,
She's hungry. Even though she ate an hour ago, but
they're always hungry. They got huge appetites, right?
Oh, little Karma star. They're very entertaining.
Yeah, they're starting to make more faces and be more animated and show more personality and notice their surroundings.
Yeah, Rob was saying that.
Yeah, Lovey was laying next to her and she put her hand over and petted her and then realized she liked it and then pet her some more.
Really?
That was the first time she even noticed her.
How about that? And the dogs are handling the kids okay?
What?
The dogs are handling the kids okay?
Lovey thinks it's her babies.
Really? Oh, that's great. That's great.
Lovey's right here, by the way.
Look at Lovey.
I just wanted to say hey to y'all. Hey everybody.
Hey, yes. Thanks for tuning in.
And I'll be on soon. Next week I'll be on more. I'm just busy today with the kids.
Yeah, right? Hands are full. Yeah. Sure.
Bye.
Hey, Katie.
Love you, baby.
Man, Carver's. A little cameo, karma cameo.
Yeah, that's something that definitely has changed, is understanding that cry. Because before, like, I would think, like, how can these parents not hear their baby crying? It would be, especially on an airplane or something. Sometimes it's like so annoying. And now there was actually a baby who was so good on my flight to Australia, so good, sat right behind me, and it made little noises so few times that I kept talking myself out of it. Like, no, there's no baby there. There's no way, because I thought I heard a squeak, but that was it. And man, that baby was so good. I didn't know till we landed, and she was holding it. But anyway, yeah. Sometimes that's all they know how to do is cry. Like at first, I used to think, like, oh my God, they sound like they need help so bad. They're in so much pain. Like we got to help them, and you still do, but also, sometimes they're just crying because they don't know how to say "pick me up."
Yeah, right. Yeah, something to that effect.
Especially when there's no tears. It's like, are you really crying?
You're not. You're not.
You're whining.
Yeah. You just want something.
Yeah.
Maddie says RVD at WrestleMania house in Van Terminator, baby. He wants Van Terminator at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania Housen.
Yeah, it'd be sweet to see you at WrestleMania, but you will be there that weekend for sure. No doubt about it.
Yep, busy week.
Busy
week, just like the one I had the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Except for I'll be home.
Yes. Yeah. The Boston Bat. Thanks for the Australian bucks. He was at your Australian show. He says, thanks for coming to Australia and putting on one hell of a match on Friday and a perfect tribute to one of the greatest to ever do it in Australia. Yes.
Awesome. I appreciate. Also,
he says, also hope you manage to take those 2 containers back home with you.
Oh man, are they not? I guess I gotta wait till next week to show you. I forgot to bring them, but
you have.
Yeah, I can't do it justice really talking about it. Damn, should have brought it. But what a cool fucking gift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just show you next week. But it's
save it for next week. We'll put it on. I'll remind you. Yeah.
But I want to tell him at the TSA when I was coming through Australia, the security did check my bag. I was surprised at how good she could see in my bag. I mean, I had my bag stuffed because we got a bunch of. Well, I'm packed for 2 weeks, and then plus we kept getting gifts, baby gifts, and the promoter Matt, he and his wife, thank you for the gifts, because I didn't look at them until I brought them home. But so many, I couldn't believe I could zip my bag. It was so full, and it goes through the security thing, and the lady says, "Do you have any like athletic tape?" And it sounded so specific too, and I'm like, yeah. Actually, yeah, I do. And she says, you do? She says, because it looks in the scanner like cellophane, and that's not allowed. And I was like, what in the fuck are you talking about? And she says, it looks like you have athletic tape maybe in your boot. And I was like, I can't believe you can see that, because I stuff shit in my boots.
Yeah,
because I stuff everything so tight, every inch matters, right? And she's looking through a whole big ass stuffed bag with all kinds of shit in it, toiletries, razor, everything. She can see through all that and see that I have a roll of wrist tape, RVD wrist tape, and then it's stuffed inside of my wrestling boot. She could see that. So anyway, she unzipped it and she went for it. And I said, I can't believe you saw that. And she said, oh, these machines see everything, testing me like, but then below the tape in the foot part of the boot, I had this gift stuffed in there that that brother here gave me. He's got his name there.
Boston Bat.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was thinking his name was Steve, maybe, but anyway, we'll go with that. We'll go with that because I can't remember right now. And but anyway, it's. I'll show you next week because it's so cool. But he made it in his 3D printer, and it looks like the chamber on a gun, the bullet chamber. You can't smell anything, but when you unscrew the lid, and it takes a while to unscrew it. And when it finally comes off, it is a chamber, but the bullet holes had joints in them, pre-rolled. So it had eight doobies in it, and then in the middle was a lighter. And it was so fucking cool, and it glows in the dark too. And you can't smell it at all once it's screwed. But it was so cool, and I was like, I have to bring it back with me, So I rinsed it out with the hot water and shit in the sink, and I was just hoping for the best. And this girl pulls the wrist tape out, and then she goes, "What's this?" And she pulls it out, and she's looking at it. She looks at me, "What is this?" I said, "It was a gift." And she said, "It looks like it goes to a gun." And she starts unscrewing it, and I'm like, "Oh, all right, let's test it here. Let's see if she smells the weed, because you can smell it as soon as it was like halfway unscrewed when the joints were in there, but now it's and she unscrewed it. She looked at it. She was like, "Huh," and I just said, "A gift," because I'm like, "Come on, give me my shit back." And and then she was done with it. She just pushed everything over to me for me to put it back in. It took me like 45 minutes to stuff my bag again. But yeah, I definitely got both of them, because he showed up Friday with this awesome thing, 8 doobies. And then Sunday we did the screening for Sabu's documentary, and he showed up again, brought me another one with another 8.
Wow.
And then I got 2 boots, so I brought them both back home. And I definitely
how about that? Wow, good stuff. Yeah, you'll have to show that next week on the show. Sure. Shout out. Good gift. Heck of a gift. That's awesome.
All the Australian gifts I should have showed. What am I thinking?
Dang it. Maddie says, timing. Lately I've been getting angry at shit. Yes. Oh yeah. So
knock it off, dude.
Yep, you can do it, Maddie. You can do it. I know.
All anger does is knock you off from being on the right path.
That's 100% true. No doubt. Will Dway, thanks for the $1. Appreciate it, man. Jem the Dawn, what's up, brother? What's up, Rob? Good to see you. You stoked to say hey? WrestleMania weekend. Yeah, Jem. Awesome.
Yeah, cool. Definitely see you at the Nerd Bar, and maybe elsewhere around town.
No doubt about it. And then Maddie adds RVDology tips. I get like Eddie when I'm burnt out. Like Eddie. Do you mean Eddie Guerrero, perhaps?
Is that what we're gonna go with?
I guess Eddie. I get like Eddie when I'm burnt out.
So how does Eddie get?
I don't know. Did Eddie have a temper?
Eddie, I wonder if that's who he's talking about.
He might be.
When I think of Eddie's vibration, it was like a bit tormented with his demons, like he looked like he was sitting there in the dressing room and reading from the Bible and doing it with intention, as if he was like saying, help put me on the right track, and like I'm doing this, spending my time doing this instead of doing that, like the other guys right now. And it didn't seem, like it was a super easy task for him. He seemed a little bit challenged by it.
Yeah. Trying to keep on the right path, but like still pushing back. It's like,
and when people talk about demons, I mean, that's what they're saying basically, right? Is that they're struggling with, if it's sobriety or well, I guess it usually is in some form or the other. So, that's if those demons got you, then you need some help.
That's it. Yeah, you definitely need some help on that. But yeah, no, okay. So that's what Maddie was saying. He was saying need to get RVD back to Perth soon. He meant Eddie. Yes. So
yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, a lot of the fans were asking if this is the last time I'm coming to Australia. Maybe, but I don't know. And I don't want to know when my last time is. But this was kind of billed as one last time. And when I was talking to Matt at the BCW about doing this show, I wasn't sure, like what was going to happen, because my heels were broke, and I was dealing with that and looking at a lot of time off still ahead of me, and just didn't know. But I don't know, as anybody saw that was there Friday, it was it was the normal RVD. Felt good to me, and I actually enjoyed it after having so much time off. It wasn't so much like a chore or being somewhere where I won't want to be. So
Yeah,
pretty good, pretty cool.
nice. All right, well, good to have you back. Then good to see you back, and yes, what a start in Australia, and more to come then for RVD in Las Vegas, nonetheless, too. So sweet. Well, this has been a fun one, Rob. Yes, we'll cover more ground next week, and it's good to have you back in the fold, my friend.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you, Van Dam fam.
Yes, and if you guys haven't yet, check out Happy Hippo again. They got a lot of great products. I love the gummies. I've been doing the gummies and stuff like that, and so be sure to support them and help out the show as well. And you can check
That's
out
another thing. I was gonna eat some Happy Hippo on the show, and I was going to hit the last piece. I don't know what glass piece is left. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do, because they just sent it to me. But there's only like 2 glass pieces left out of a Greek glass, and I had good intentions of showing the piece if I have it, which I think I do, and doing a bong hit out of it. But gosh darn it, I guess I'm just not prepared like I thought I was.
Well, we'll be prepared next week, hopefully.
Hopefully. All we can do is do our best and hope to do better as we go along.
That's it. That's it. 100% it. Well, good stuff, guys. Appreciate the RVDology and the 5 recommendations. So if you guys don't want to get angry, go back and watch that and check it out. That's some great advice. And we'll see you all next week here on One of a Kind with who? Mr. Rob Van Dam.
Boom. All right, Van Dam fam. Peace out, hoes. Talk to you next week.
Yep. Peace up and cut down.